Do both. Onyx and 5. Okay, okay. Perfect.
So I'll just whenever you start it, I'm going to time you.
Okay, perfect.
Ready? All right.
All right, we are finally live. For the folks in the back, if you want to head here, it would be awesome. So welcome everyone. We are so excited to have you here. We've worked really hard to put an awesome event together for you. And we have over 20 prizes, including this amazing scooter. We have a private dinner with Alex from AgentOps and Div with MultiOn. The winner can get a spot at Llama Lounge. Another winner will come record on my radio show. And we have a Theragun, we have a Rabbit R1, we have 10,000 in credits. So it's going to be a really, really fun and exciting 2-day event. Before we start, I want to give you a little bit of an intro about me. So I'm a software engineer. I've been leading engineering teams here in the Bay Area for the last 15 years. I helped take New Relic IPO. I grew the team at MindBody from 7 to 50 engineers. So throughout my entire career, I've always been dedicated to fostering diversity in tech. So most recently, I started a nonprofit called Women Founders Bay to help women in tech really thrive and to help women entrepreneurs grow their business. And I'm also now a general partner at Progressive Ventures. Thank you. I'm very passionate about investing in women and AI B2B startups. All right. So I first want to thank all our amazing sponsors for this event. I want to thank, oops, what happened? Battery. We did not think about that. All right, that's fine. I have it here. So I want to thank AWS. I want to thank AgentOps, Groq. I want to thank Wordware, Anon, Arize, and yep, and also I want to thank Michelle, who worked tirelessly to put this event together, Alicia, all the volunteers. So this hackathon has been is hosted by Div from MultiOn and Alex from AgentOps. So give a big round of applause. So we're going to have a bunch of lightning talks that we are very excited about. And then we're going to head off for team formation. And at 11, we're going to have a small brunch. All right. Please welcome Div from MultiOn.
Let's see. Cool. Interesting. Sorry, let me try to fix this before we start. Okay, that's good. So let me just switch accounts. Cool. Okay. So everyone, excited to be here. So I'm Div, co-founder and CEO of MultiOn. And we're excited to see like how agents are going to revolutionize how we do digital interactions in everyday life. And so we see like agents as a new interface to the digital world. Here's a demo with Jason Calacan is featuring us in This Week in Startups to give a preview of how people can use our agents.
So let's get right to it. Okay. All right. So the first one, I'm gonna put something out there, Jake. This is gonna be an A+. I'm gonna predict it to be an A+.
Predicting an A+. Okay.
Yes, I'm gonna predict it to be an A+. All right. So great set of founders, come with incredible background. The company is called MultiOn. And so
MultiOn.ai.
yeah. And the way it works is it's a Chrome extension. It's pretty invasive because you have to give it full control of your browser, but it's super powerful. And so what I'm able to do, I'm going to start here and say, book a meeting tomorrow with Jason at 2 p.m. And what you're going to see it do, it's going to kick off. And it can read it to you, and it's good. It's built, right? Yes.
Holy cow. For people who are not watching, the Chrome extension has taken over the browser. The inmates have taken over the asylum, and it's popped up essentially a co-pilot, opened up Google Calendar. It knows how to click on Google Calendar, and I've given up control of my browser, and it's set up the meeting. Oh, my Lord.
Yes.
That was incredible.
And that's not all it can do.
So that's kind of like the reaction we get when people are using our agents and then trying out like how this kind of agents can revolutionize what you can do in your browser. And this is kind of what we are trying to build. Well, like if you look right now, there's a lot of like large language models that you can use. And like I like to say that LMs are the present, but agents are the future. And the question becomes like, how do we build and deploy this like autonomous AI agents at large that are doing decision making? And how do we also ensure like a safe future where like people are not using this for malicious use cases? And how do we make sure that like if we are doing a lot of like decision making, it doesn't go and like cause issues? So if you saw yesterday, like this one small flaw in this system called CrowdStrike, it brought down like every single like global traffic system and computers. And if you imagine if something like that was like an agentic, right? Like there's so many things that can go wrong. And so you have to like sort of when you're building systems that are like powering the core infrastructure of how the world will look like, I think that is very important. And you need to make sure that you can like make them resilient and also like safe enough. And this is what we are trying to do at MultiOn. So we are creating AI agents that can handle tasks in the background for any sort of digital experience. And we want to let people build their own like vertical applications, which can be like software, hardware, and then allow people to like use our agents to take actions on the internet. And so we see ourselves as sort of like almost like a virtual human. Like I want to book a flight, I want to order food, I want to send messages. Then you can just simply call our agents, and our agents can handle that experience in the background. And then which can allow a lot of folks to like build like new generation of like more autonomous apps that can take actions powered by our technology. Here we have a couple of demos. These are mostly on YouTube, so you can check them out. I will just skip them here for the sake of time. But like, I feel like a lot of folks might have already seen this, but I've also shared out the links if you're interested. So let's move on. And so we see there's like 5 levels of autonomies when it comes to this kind of systems. This is borrowed from self-driving cars. So normally you have like L0 to L5. So when you have like L0, like level 0, level 1, level 2, that's basically a human is in the control. And when it comes to like L3 and plus, that's when it's like a computer that's in control, and it's like the car that's making the decisions. And so when you have L3, what happens in this case is like this the car that's driving itself and just doing most of the things. But you still have a human behind the driving wheel and like sort of just like making sure that nothing goes wrong to take over control if something fails. And so this like if you have ever like driven a Tesla in its autopilot mode, that's like a L3 self-driving car system. And L4 is basically like you don't have no human in the car. And so the car is operating itself in 99% of the situations. Also, there might be some more like fallback mechanisms or remote control mechanisms, which what Waymo is doing. And when you have L5, it's like basically like you have 0 human interoperation. So it's like fully like the car is making all the decisions and doing everything. And so what we see with the type of agents we're trying to build at MultiOn, we want to sit in this regime between L4 and L5, where we want these agents to operate automatically on their behalf, but also come back to you, ask you about things that like they might not know about. So involve you in the loop about like maybe like what flights do you prefer if you're booking something, or like ask you for your preferences, what allergies do you have, and so like have you in the loop, but be able to like go and do like 99% of the things automatically if they know how to do it. And we built a bunch of demos. Okay, unfortunately, this cannot be loaded. But I will say there's a lot of like different things you can enable using our agents. And so this is one thing we did as a demo last year, where we had our agents go and pass the online driving test in California. And this was actually a live exam where we passed the online DMV test and set the record as the first AI to have a driving permit in California. So that was actually really fun. So we actually have a video of like the agent going and solving the online driving test, which is also really fun to see. So not this time, unfortunately. And this was actually the license we got. So we had to hide the details, but we had like an actual license we received from the DMV. So that was really fun. But it's kind of an incredible if you think about like what is possible with all this agent. This was kind of like a white test attempt. So we informed the DMV that we were doing this. But it's kind of crazy. Like if we imagine like if agents were able to go and just do all these amounts of crazy things, it's such a big capability. But also like it comes with a lot of responsibilities. And what we want to do for this hackathon is give everyone access to our APIs. So we want people to be able to build on top of our agents, embed them in their devices and applications. We have the friend founder, Nick, here. He bought 100 friend devices. He's just there. So you can like build your own like AI variables and then connect them with our agents or like do anything crazy thing you want. And also just have a lot of fun. We'll be giving access to our browser agent platform and APIs, where you can check it out at app.multion.ai/playground, and then like directly interact with our agents running in the cloud. That's some video issues. Okay. And our goal with MultiOn is we want to be this motor cortex layer for AI, which is enabling actions to happen in the cloud. And we see this as almost like a agent operating system that we can be used to power like devices and then experiences. And that's kind of what we're trying to enable. One thing we're also doing for this hackathon is giving access to Agent Marketplace we built for the hackathon, along with the Agent Builder tool that we are giving access to in an early beta preview. And so for the duration of the hackathon, what folks can do is they can build their own agents, and they can put them on the marketplace with a leaderboard. And then you can also like the agents and like try it out. And when you try out an agent, that will automatically activate and connect to our playgrounds and our APIs, and you can like see what's happening. We'll be doing a 20-minute talk later on an agent builder tool that we will be unveiling on how you can like build this kind of custom agents, and then like make sure like they're more like robust and consistent. So when you like ask it to say like, okay, like order me a pizza on Domino's or something, then you can like rely on it to like always go and like do that. So you can build like your pizza bot or whatever, like burger bot, or like cancel a subscription bot, or I don't know, like AGI. I guess. Cool. So that's also as a fun prize, we'll be giving the #1 agent builder not a katana. So we have some not a katanas here. So if you build the best agent and you get the top votes, you might be able to win one. Okay. So that's it for the talk. And finally, we are also hiring. So if you believe yourself to be the best at what you do, then come work with us. Reach out at hiring@multion.ai. Cool. Thank you.
All right. Now we have Alex from AgentOps.
Okay, amazing. All right, let me zoomed in. All right. Hello, everyone. It's incredible that so many people turned out for this hackathon. We're really excited to see these incredible projects that are going to be built over the next 24 hours. My name's Alex. I am the founder of AgentOps. AgentOps is a developer platform for testing, monitoring, and observing AI agents. What does that mean? AI agents right now have three problems. They're slow, they're expensive, and they're unreliable. If you've tried building AI agents, you already know this is true. We had this exact same issue when we were building agents about over a year ago, and that's why we decided there needs to be a better way to understand what's going on when you're building these things. So I'm going to go give a brief overview about what AI agents are, what they're capable of, and give you all inspiration about what you can be building that can really change the world in a way that no other technologies are currently enabling you to do. So first off, starting off, AgentOps is designed to be the platform that makes it easy to go from prototype to production. So essentially, we provide everything that captures LLM notifications. We have performance testing, logging, evals, curation, prompt management. So for this hackathon, you're going to all have availability to see traces and logs. It makes it super easy to test and monitor what's going on. And just to kind of give you some case studies about how to use AgentOps and the things that you can use it for. The things that we're seeing across most enterprises are basically copilots, chatbots, developer tools, and autonomous agents. So these, I would say, are all more or less agentic in some degree. So copilots, this is usually some sort of sense of a chat with your documentation, ChatGPT Enterprise, if anybody works at a big company, having the ability to talk to knowledge bases. Secondarily, we also have chatbots, right? So there's a company called Klarna. They replaced all of the human customer support bots with AI agents. They are saving $40 million a year, and they have higher customer satisfaction ratings than actual humans. So think about that. Chatbots are a fantastic use case. Developer tools, we're all familiar with Devin, right? These autonomous coding agents. This is really interesting avenue to look down. And then last, you have the autonomous agents that do a lot of interesting things. So we've seen things along the lines of triaging tickets for large companies for product managers. We've seen things like basically being able to expand to new markets because these agents are able to read legal paperwork and understand what the missing gaps are for service expansions, so on and so forth. And anyway, just to kind of give you a hint of what is worth looking at. So anyway, agents are really popping off right now. Kind of about a year ago, we saw AutoGPT really hit the market, skyrocket to one of the most popular projects ever. And if you want to understand what is an AI agent, the easiest way to explain an AI agent is outside in San Francisco, we have self-driving cars. Now we have these programs called agents, which are basically self-driving programs. So think about it like a program that has instrumented with a set of tools, give it a high-level instruction of what to do, how to automate things, and it figures out all on its own how to solve problems. One really interesting paper that came out about a year ago was a team from NVIDIA and Caltech at Stanford. They created an agent called Voyager. What Voyager is they taught an agent in Minecraft, the video game, how to play the game by teaching its own skills and how to navigate the world and solve problems by writing its own tools, using those tools when the moment was given, and then automatically navigating and pathfinding. And this is what it looks like. So essentially, imagine, this is not a player. This is an agent, right? This is an autonomous program that's learning how to solve problems, and it's able to do these things all on its own. So when you're building these agents this weekend, think to yourself, what kinds of self-driving programs can I build for myself, right? It could be using MultiOn to automate anything from DoorDash delivery to creating more agents in AWS because it's capable of logging into the browser and clicking around and doing this kind of stuff. So really kind of think about this, like what kind of self-driving programs are you able to build in the next 24 hours? The idea behind agents kind of stemmed from this LLM OS that came by a famous Karpathy tree. And we kind of think about it like this, right? So agents, underlying every agent, you have usually these large language models. But on top of that, when you connect it to tools and functions, when you connect it to state actuators, things that actually change the world, then it becomes an agentic process. The rest of the stuff is very interesting, right? It's very helpful. But making sure that your LLMs have access to tool calls and functions is what really sets it apart as agentic. And what we're going to be judging this weekend, we're going to be looking, are you a ChatGPT wrapper, or are you doing something that changes the world state? Are you building the self-driving program? So things that AgentOps are able to help cover with, you're going to get all your agent metadata, context history, see planning management, action history. And also, if you're building multi-agent frameworks with either CrewAI, AutoGen, or any other frameworks, we do support that as well. So you can see multiple agents working concurrency with each other. So I'm going to show off a quick demo, but just kind of quick announcement first. 4 p.m. If anybody wants to roast our documentation, we will be giving out Apple AirTags. So high incentive, but we need to give us high quality feedback. Right now, also, if you want to get started, please go to the GitHub link. Python SDK, super easy to use. Give us a star. And I'm going to show you off what an AI agent looks like built with AgentOps real quick. So look at those. All right. So who here is familiar with CrewAI? Show of hands, CrewAI. Awesome. All right. So not everyone. I'm going to go ahead and show that. So CrewAI is a multi-agent framework that essentially lets you spin up multiple agents that work together and talk to each other to solve problems, right? So the idea is that you have limited context windows with these agents, and sometimes it's too slow to run them all as a single thread. So you can parallelize them, give them each different tasks, different tools, and that way they actually solve problems more effectively than having a single long-threaded agent. So essentially what we're doing here, I'm going to create an agent that actually writes a job posting for AgentOps. We're hiring. So what we're going to do is we're going to create 3 agents. We're going to create a research agent, a writer agent, and a review agent. We're going to look at the definition here. Okay, so what we do with these crew agents is we define a research analyst. You give it a role, a goal, tools, and a backstory. So the research analyst has access to web and SERPer. Its job is to analyze a website given a description. Also, I'm going to try zooming in a little more. We have the review specialist. It also has web search, SERPer, and has file reading capabilities. Its job is to clarify and make grammatical checks to understand that the agent works, that the job posting looks right. And then we're going to have the writer that actually does the job of writing the job description. So what that looks like is we're going to run Python main.py. And to plug this in with AgentOps, right? This is a CrewAI program. We have a first-party integration with Crew. All you have to do is add this one little line of code right here, AgentOps.init. And because we have a partnership with Crew, it automatically instruments all of the code, and you get instant observability when you look at it. So I'm going to show you the before and after, and you'll understand, and then I'll hand it off afterwards. All right, company description, AI agent testing. And we'll say company domain, AgentOps.ai. Hiring needs, we need AI engineers. And benefits, work with crack developers. All right, awesome. And the spelling doesn't matter. That's kind of the wonderful part about agents, is that they understand what you're talking about. So anyway, what happens with agents in general? They are very yappy. That's a technical term. What you're going to see here is that the agents are actually working together. You can see the crew is kicking off. It's thinking, it's reasoning through these steps. But my terminal is already overloading with logs, right? This is one of the most dreadful experiences for debugging ever because there's just way too much stuff going on. I already have an error. It's a big pain in the neck. So what we can do, go to the AgentOps dashboard because we're plugged in already. When you plug an agent with AgentOps, you automatically get all of these analytics and statistics. You can see how much money you're spending. You can see which agents actually succeed, which ones actually fail. And you can drill down on this little sidebar, session drill down. I'm going to go select a session. I'm going to just show off the previous session I've run. You can see all your session costs. You can see tags. You can see everything that makes your agent run in production. And then you can actually drill down and see exactly what was going on at any given point in time. So we can see the time elapsed. We can see the error codes if we ran into an issue. We can see the total spend, total number of tokens. And because, again, remember how we ran 3 agents concurrently? We can filter in and actually see the different runs on how those agents were reasoning through the problems. Get a full chat view, so that way you don't have to scroll through the terminal. And lastly, you get this nice little waterfall diagram that shows you step by step how your agents were reasoning. So when you're building this hackathon, all you have to do is add 2 lines of code to your agent. You're qualified for the AgentOps prize pool, and it makes it way easier. And you're going to develop a lot faster than everyone else who's not using AgentOps. So that's it. If you have any questions, please speak and reach out to me. I'm happy to help with any agent idea, brainstorming, AgentOps issues, anything like that. And I'm looking forward to see some incredible projects. Thanks so much.
All right, up next, Jerry Liu from LlamaIndex. And then after that, it's Groq. Give it up.
Thank you. Give me 1 second. Okay. Hey, everyone. I'll try to make this quick. I'm Jerry, co-founder, CEO of LlamaIndex. Thanks so much for bringing me on. And it's great to see so many people interested in agents. Today, this is actually a little bit of a new topic. I'll basically float some ideas about how do you actually build a multi-agent system as like a set of microservices. This is basically what we're building with respect to our new repo, Llama Agents. It's still in alpha mode, and so you're very welcome to use it during the hackathon, and then just ping me if anything breaks, right? So single agents versus multi-agents. There's been a little bit of a debate about this, and at least with current LLM capabilities, a single agent cannot solve like a infinite set of tasks. Like if you try to plug in like 10 tools into a single like function calling prompt, it's probably going to like fail, especially once the number of tools scales up. And so people are increasingly interested in multi-agent systems, basically break a complex task down into a hierarchy where each agent can still specialize in what it's good at, but you can basically define some sort of communication interface between agents to actually, achieve a broader outcome. So there's a few benefits to multi-agents. One is specialization. Every agent can focus on being really good at a certain task, whether you're like a coding assistant or you're like a PM that writes like a product spec, or you actually write the unit test for the code. There's also some parallelization benefits, like MapReduce style. If you have like an overall task and you want to break it down into like 10 to 100 different tasks, you can have like 100 different, little modules or sub-agents actually work on it at once. And there are certain cost and latency benefits because if like smaller agents use fewer tokens in the prompt, whereas if you try to stuff like 100 tools into the prompt, it's going to incur a lot of marginal token costs. So I think like there's two big there's a lot of great multi-agent frameworks out there. There's CrewAI, AutoGen, there's LangGraph, there's a bunch of other ones. And I think like generally speaking, when developers try to figure out how do you actually build a multi-agent system, there's two main patterns. One is you basically let some sort of orchestrator figure it all out yourself, which is basically just an agent with tools pattern. An agent is given a set of like access, or an orchestrator agent access to a bunch of other agents, and figures out how to actually call these agents to solve the task. And then the other approach is you explicitly define the set of like human constraints you want to actually make sure the agents follow a certain set of steps. So Llama Agents, which is a repo that we launched like a few weeks ago, and it's still something that we're developing, is basically treating this idea of like, okay, so how do you actually just leverage existing kind of like software development practices and infrastructure to and apply those to agents, right? And for us, it's basically treating every agent in a multi-agent system as a microservice. And so you treat every agent as like its own API. It encapsulates some logic, and it communicates via a central message queue. And so there's some benefits with respect to like scalability, reliability, and usage of just like existing infrastructure components, and also kind of induces an interesting pattern of programming where you're kind of like, defining every agent as like a separate event-driven service that can communicate with each other. And so this is basically what I said. You treat every agent as a separate service, communicate via like a message queue, whether it's RabbitMQ, Kafka, et cetera. And then there's some sort of orchestration that happens via a control plane. And you can either explicitly define these flows, like you as the human explicitly define it, or you let like an LLM prompt figure it out. Here is a basic example of implementing popular or just like an interesting like RAG paper called corrective RAG, which basically does retrieval and then checks if the retrieved contexts are relevant. If it is relevant, then you actually summarize the results similar to regular RAG. If it's not, you perform some sort of web search using like a web search API. In this example, every single one of this RAG service, the summarization service, web search services, you can treat those as like separate, separate services, basically, right? And they communicate with each other through some sort of defined flow through the control plane orchestrator. Here's another basic example. You can basically launch this in the terminal if you like clone the repo. But if you define some set of agents, you can basically view them in this like terminal window, and then you can actually represent each agent as its own service, and you can actually see the messages being passed through the services. And we have like a monitor that listens to the ports. Okay. And then going next, here's just some other examples. If you want to model like human in the loop, you just treat that as a separate service. If you pass a message to a human service, basically what this means is that an agent realizes that it requires like human input. So there's a separate human service. I'll block on human input, wait for that task to be received, and then go like once the human actually provides that input, then it passes the message back to the agent to let it proceed. And so the video is here. Basically, it's just like, it's a very simple example showing that for stuff that does need human input, you have like a task queue where the human can go in and fill in the tasks that are required. It's actually kind of starts to get similar to some of the UXs like Devin, where you can, for instance, like you don't really have to do anything until it explicitly asks you, and then it just has like a set of like tasks for you to give input on before it like resumes coding. Cool. And the last thing I'll say is, there's a lot of our partners here, and so we integrate very well with a lot of the kind of like awesome tools and projects here. So this includes MultiOn. You can basically use MultiOn as a browsing tool within a LlamaIndex agent. Just call it, and it does its thing, gives back a response, combined with other tools. We integrate with AgentOps, and so AgentOps is a great tool for agent observability. And we recently built an integration as we were kind of building out some of the agent scaffolding. And then we also integrate with Arize or Llama Trace. So we have like an integrated observability solution with Arize, where you sign up on llamatrace.com, get an account, and then set your environment variable, and then basically with a few toggles, all your traces get logged to the service. Cool. Thank you.
All right. Next up is Groq, and the Groq prize. You're going to be featured in their newsletter, Speedrun, that has thousands of developers. So give it up for Jose from Groq.
Hey, everyone. Do we have... Okay, I'll make it quick and useful. Whenever you're ready to be. There you go. Jose from Groq. I'm an engineer on the cloud team. Let me see hands real quick. Who's familiar with Groq? All right, so not much of a presentation today. Groq builds the fastest AI out there. We run open source models, basically the comparison between a GPU and an LPU, which is what we do. It's kind of evident just by looking at the chips. So this is a benchmark, not by us, by these guys from Artificial Analysis. And that line on the top, we basically force them to stretch the y-axis. It's a comparison between providers, right? It's Llama 3 instruct on several providers. And the orange one is Groq, of course. Now, that's it. Oh, by the way, thank you. 3,000 devs right now building on Groq. It's super cool. Don't forget to go to the console. And to avoid like blabber on Groq, instead of that, let's do a quick hackathon. I'm going to provide you with a quick hackathon trick. Who has heard of Mixture of Agents? Right, we're around there. I bring you this for you guys to try it. I think it's going to improve, it might improve your project somehow. What is Mixture of Agents? I'm going to give you links after this, so don't worry. Basically, Mixture of Agents is doing something like this. And pardon my oversimplification, it's for presentation purposes. Basically, you do a prompt. You shoot it to however many agents you like. I did 3 examples because those are the ones we have on Groq. Then you synthesize the answer, And you can do welcome to AI this many, many times until you improve your answer enough. And then you get a final result. Now, one example, by the way, what I'm going to show you is from an intern in Groq. We have amazing people in Groq. And the example was like, give me, I really recommend you guys trying this. Give me, you can ask ChatGPT even, 30 sentences that end up with the word apple, I think was the main demo. And like a regular model would fail, and it's going to give you a list with faulty entries. And then you do this, and you get a very clean answer. That's a great, quick demo that you can be trying with this, but I encourage you to try it on your specific projects. This is a simplification that, by the way, we're going to try to make this come to the console at Groq soon. But meanwhile, this QR points to this presentation, to this slide, so you guys have the links. These are the links of interest. Mixture of Agents demo, you can actually run it. Then the source code of that. And then you have the developer console, so you guys can create your keys on the console. And the last one is increase your limits form. Remember, we usually at Groq, we do increase limits for people on the hackathon, so you can blast the system comfortably. And if there's any problem, we're going to be there. You can find me and just ask. Oh, whoops. And I think that is it. Yes, it is. Thank you, guys.
All right, next up is Wordware. Who here has an electric scooter? Okay, well, you can win an electric scooter if you win their category prize. Okay, give it up for Robert from Wordware.
Good morning, hackers. Are we all excited? I am also excited. I'm waiting for this to appear. Hey, that looks promising, if a little smaller than usual. Cool. Oh. Cool. Right. Yes. Hello, everyone. Wonderful to be here. Wonderful to see you all. Excited to hack and see what you guys build. I'm from Wordware. Wordware is a place where you can build your AI agents. The core of all agents is the prompt, and how you craft that prompt is so important. So what we've built is an IDE that helps you build the best prompts ever. We allow you to basically have a prompt-first programming language where all the natural language comes to the front. It's not buried amongst deep abstractions. If any of you have used LangChain, you'll know just how far you have to go through a bunch of imported classes just to find out what the hell was running. We flip that on its head. We put the prompt front and center, allows you to build these complex chains of prompts, which are the underpinning of all agents. So like any good programming language, I'm going to start with a hello world. And I'm going to do it with one hand, so it's going to be a little bit more painful than if I had two hands. So in Wordware, you have this kind of Notion-like web-based IDE. You can write your prompts. You can be something like, say hello to, and then if I write @name and hit enter, name now becomes a templated input variable. And then you've got the slash command. So, you know, Notion users, you'll be so familiar with this. This is basically how you access all the good things under the hood. So the first of two are generations. They're output from LLMs. Anything that comes before that in the prompt will be fed into the LLM, and it'll generate some kind of output. You can just do plain outputs, or you can do structured outputs. So you can get like JSON mode effectively. We then can have human inputs partway through the loop. So if you want to kind of correct your agent's flow, give it some approval step, you can do that. We have flow controls. You can do looping and branching. So this is how you go from kind of a simple prompt up to something that's like an agent. And then you can have prompts that call prompts. And this is where you get a much better results if you break your prompts down from one prompt that does 10 things into 10 prompts that do one thing. And each individual prompt will run way, way faster. They'll be way more reliable. And then when you add the 11th thing, it won't start suddenly doing 7 out of 11. It will continue to do 11 out of 11. And lastly, you can do code execution. So if you ever need to jump out, hit some API, integrate with some external RAG source, you can do that all from Wordware. Cool, but we're going to start with simple generation. Wordware gives you access to all the best models. We like to release them on the day. So you've got GPT-4o Mini, you've got Mistral Nemo. Both of those came out, I'm pretty sure, yesterday or the day before. We had them up within hours. We have some other fun models as well, like Perplexity's Sonar models and Commandar models, with both of which have an online mode. So if you ever need to get some up-to-date information in your agent, these are a really great way to do it. But we'll just use whatever. We'll use the latest model. Why not? Click run, type in a name like Agents Hackathon. Ooh, oh. And I hit run. And it's very much what you see is what you get. The input gets templated into the UI. And then we get this kind of output, hello world. You're all, definitely this is your amazing AI agent, so you can publish this straight away, trigger this with an API, and include this in your code base. But that's all kind of simple and boring, so let's move on to something a little bit more exciting. So we are multimodal by default, and we have structured outputs. So here I've just fed in a restaurant menu. I've extracted through a structured output each of the items in the menu. And then because we're kind of like a hybrid of the flexibility of natural language with the structure of coding, you can actually then loop over this menu that has been extracted, over the array of items that have been extracted, and call another prompt on that. And so this is just prompts all the way down. That's what agents are. And here we then kind of take that menu item, we write a visual description, and we generate an image using Stable Diffusion, which I won't show because it's got my API keys in, and I think this is being live streamed. So. But what this does is effectively, here's the output. And this is like the tiramisu that the AI imagined from running the prompt. Cool. And one last thing I'll show you before we go into, actually, I'll just kind of a heads up to Groq. We do have Groq enabled for the Llama models and for some of the Mistral models. They've got nice high throughputs as well, so don't feel like you probably have higher throughputs with us than you will from your Groq API keys. But if you run with Groq, it truly is impressively fast. That just was like, pow. So if you want to do lots of reasoning loops, you want agents that don't suck because they're so slow, use Groq on Wordware, and everything will be amazing. Cool. Let's show this one. So just here's an example of an application we built. It's called Audio Scribe. It basically takes in audio, decides what category this kind of prompt should, this note should be in. It could be a meeting note. It could be like a to-do list. It could be some other things. If we click stop, it's going to trigger a Wordware prompt after transcribing it. And all this agent you can kind of duplicate. There's a whole page on kind of all the stuff we have for Wordware. You'll get $200 in credits. If you want to sign up to an organization, you can collaborate in like a Google Docs-like manner inside Wordware. Just find me or someone from Wordware in a cool t-shirt. Yeah, win a scooter, use Wordware, have a great time. See you all around.
All right, next up is Daniel from Anon, and you can win a DoorDash gift certificate and a hoodie from Anon alongside a $500 credit. Give it up for Daniel.
Awesome, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I think I'm the last thing standing between you guys and hacking, so I'll try to make this a lightning talk. We're also the most recent sponsor, so I signed up about 12 hours ago. So no fancy presentation to go through here. So let me get this straight. So as I said, I'm Daniel, founder of a company called Anon. And what Anon does, we like to call ourselves the integration platform for the AI internet. What that really means is we build authentication into a bunch of popular websites as well as long tail websites to where if you want your agent to use the website as you, we handle all the really hard stuff under the hood. We handle the authentication, two-factor, proxying, like all the things you need to make your agent use a bunch of popular websites on your behalf. So I will show the integration within MultiOn, which is really cool. And then I'll show a cool demo of this working in practice. So if you're using MultiOn's Playground and you go to the profile page, you can see all of the integrations that Anon supports on behalf of MultiOn. So if you want your agent to be logged into United Airlines or Delta or Instagram or buy things on Amazon, That's the integrations that Anon builds and supports. We made a fun video the other day on the 4th of July showing the Instacart integration. This is Anon's product here on the left. You log in, it pulls down the session and connects you to Instacart. And then the rest of the video is MultiOn's technology, buying a bunch of hot dogs and beer to celebrate the 4th of July. Super cool. And yeah, I can show you how this really works in practice. So this is the page I showed you within the MultiOn playground. If you want to connect your Amazon account, you'll get a nice modal. It looks a lot like Plaid if you guys have ever used Plaid in the fintech space, and functions very similarly under the hood. That is not the right account. Hold on. That is the right account, and account connection successful. And now any prompts that I make in MultiOn in the playground will be used the authentication state of like logged into my Amazon account. So I can ask it to buy things, check order histories, like etc. As far as how to use Anon, because we would love for you guys to use it in the hackathon, you can check out our dev docs, docs.anon.com. You can see a cool demo of how it works up here. And then there's really two parts to this. You connect user sessions. So we have SDKs for web and for Google Chrome, as well as for iOS and React Native, if you want to connect on those various devices. And then for running user sessions, we have a bunch of different options here. You can run them in Playwright browsers. You can write reverse engineered scripts against it. And we handle a bunch of the hard stuff out of the box, like setting up a proxy network that makes things run smoothly. We run managed browser hosting through partner providers. So basically everything you need to run and use sessions using MultiOn, using your own code, whatever, logged in as all the services on the internet to build really cool things for agents. So that's everything about Anon. We're in private beta, but I'm around all day, or if you press this get access button on the dev docs, you'll get access to the product. So yeah, come find me. There will be 3 or 4 of us around helping people get set up, and excited to see what you guys build.
All right, we have a few more presentations, so give us maybe 15 more minutes. So we have CrewAI, Laureen.
All right, hey everyone, my name is Lorenz. I'm software engineer at CrewAI. And as a first question, how many people know of CrewAI? I think everyone should raise their hand because Alex just gave a great demo on CrewAI. This was not planned, so hopefully there's some value to be gained with my demo. So let's begin the slideshow. Yeah, CrewAI, we are a universal multi-agent platform. We make building autonomous workflows super easy, super simple, and fast. So what is an AI agent? An agent is an entity that takes in a high-level goal, like analyze market trends of my competitors, find the best talent for my job postings, high-level goals that don't need traditional software automations like define steps, if-else, switch case statements. With CrewAI, you could build agents super fast, super easy. You need 3 things: a role, a goal, and a backstory. You could also attach tools like the MultiOn tool if you want to autonomously scrape a browser or use things in that nature. And then you could attach a task to it. So with just a description and an expected output, like, hey, find me top 3 AI news headlines, and then your expected output, and then attach that with the browser agent that you have defined before. So AI agents are very powerful. CrewAI agents specifically have abilities like code execution, memory, tool calling, LLMs, function callings, but there are limitations to just using one agent to handle multiple tasks. Like, what if we have a very complex workflow? Like, hey, find me the top 3 candidates for my job posting. Well, you probably don't want to just use one agent. Instead, you want to use a crew of agents, where you have specialized agents that do research. It'll use the MultiOn tool to find these candidates for us, and one that can analyze score based off each candidate, and then create like an outreach template for them, and then create a report for our stakeholders. So after you've defined your agents and you've defined your task, you could just use our crew class to kind of enable a crew of agents. So you just attach all your agents over here, your tasks, and a process that you want to run. And then, yeah, so we have integrations with AgentOps, in just 2 lines of code, you can have observability across your crews. And then we have integrations with the MultiOn tool that just launched yesterday, where in just a couple lines of code, you can have an agent use the MultiOn tool to do certain things. And I'll show you a quick demo of what you can do with that. Again, Groq, super fast, just a couple lines of code. You could also experiment with mixture of agents using CrewAI. We make it super fast and easy, as you can see. So, all right, little demo time. This is going to show off a recruitment crew that will use the MultiOn tool to autonomously scrape LinkedIn. Yeah, this is using my own Google Chrome. It's going to find candidates for a potential job posting that we have, which is finding Ruby on Rails and React engineers. So yeah, awesome tool from the folks at MultiOn. Super fast using Groq as well. Like you can see, like this is kind of sped up, but for the most part, in around like 3 minutes, you can have a tool that has scraped profiles for us, and it's going to generate the candidate scoring and be able to like create a report and email templates for these potential candidates that we may want to reach out to. So yeah, if we open this report markdown file, that's like the end outputs that we want to show. So we have the profiles of the people, the potential candidates, some messages for them, and things for a recruiter to start doing their job. So yeah, that's the demo. Here are some links for you to get started. We have example docs when it comes to being able to build agents that work, and here are docs as well. That's it. Lorenz from CrewAI. I'm going to be here all day, so if you need help building agents that work, talk to me, find me. Thanks.
All right, next up we have MemZero, and then the prize that you can win is a Rabbit R1 AI device alongside 100K of API credits. Please welcome MemZero.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Taranjeet from MemZero. Oops. I don't have a PPT or a landing page. I have a GitHub to present. So yeah, I think we all are programmers who would appreciate that. So we are building MemZero, which is the long-term memory for agents and LLM. We recently rebranded us and launched again on GitHub. We are trending worldwide #1. So do check out. I'll give you like a quick context of what we are trying to do and how are we different from RAG. So all of you here might know what's RAG, but RAG is read only and it doesn't have the concept of time. And right now, if you want to function across any LLMs or if there is a multi-agent architecture out there, the concept of state is missing. So we are solving for that. We have an open source version and a hosted version. We also have an integration with MultiOn, wherein if you want to create a personalized web agent around anything, you can quickly sign up on MemZero or use the open source version. This is one example of a personalized research agent that we recently created. And if you want to check out, you can just Google MemZero, MEM, the numeral 0. Thank you. And yeah, we are giving Rabbit R1 and $100,000 in credits, MemZero credits.
All right, now we're going to hear from Jeremy Nixon. Jeremy is the founder of AGI House, so please welcome Jeremy.
Hello, hello, hello. So I guess a struggle that I have is there's all of this hype and excitement and energy around agents, but so many of them don't work. And so Div came to me talking to me about this agents hackathon. I'm like, come on, Div, like another agents hackathon. Like, how are we going to make agents that actually do anything? We all know that plugins failed. We all know that it's really hard to build these things. Like, show me anyone making any money, please. Let's do something that differentiates the agents that are functional from the agents that aren't. So obviously, OpenAI tried really hard to make plugins work. It wasn't reliable. There wasn't enough of an interface between, different plugins. It was sort of hard to get it to you what you wanted. And so I certainly have a lot of hackathon ideas, but I thought I'd take advantage of the stage to run a little experiment with you all in collective creation of high quality content. So I run a company called Omniscience. We do book generation. Just super quickly, basically, we have writing agents that are creating research papers that are being responded to in public and have generated bestsellers, and we generated libraries, and all of academic research will eventually be generative. But in creating this, I learned a bunch of lessons. So actually, I was interested in 99% per step reliability. And so we parse our prompt outputs to guarantee that reliability. This isn't an obvious technique. When you have a prompt output, you can structure it, and then you can parse it, and then you can have a test that makes sure that the parsed prompt works, and that gets you reliability. You can build up content in parts and aggregate it using lists and other codes. You can use chains instead of open-ended agents. So, AutoGPT comes out, everyone says, oh, like this plaza will be able to do anything or everything, and in practice it can't do anything. But if you output the chain, maybe you'd have a chance if you updated things. So anyway, I learned all these lessons. I've been iterating on specific prompts, noticing all of the ways in which they fail, updating for the failure, seeing the new failures, updating for those failures, and continuing. But a lot of these lessons are kind of hidden lessons. And all of you are about to be creating agents and have experience creating agents. So let's do something together. Let's create a little playbook. So this is a link to a spreadsheet. Basically, this spreadsheet is called the Agent Builders Playbook. And it will basically be a place that all of you can, in real time right now, contribute to basically a collective knowledge base. So I'm curious to see what people add. Basically, it's super simply structured. Write your name and then add a technique. So I've added all the techniques that I learned from building Omniscience. But basically, as you guys open this, you'll be able to see everything that was created. So let me make sure that everyone can scan in. I'd like to do a side by side, I guess. Cool. Great, so Jay's already contributed. Use a directed acyclic graph rather than an open-ended loop. Super creative, super interesting. I would love to know. So actually, if you can include an example of where it worked, that's also awesome. But as people come in with new ideas, I'll let them know. Jose, check with real life people. Cute. Very helpful generalist advice for sure. But to be clear, the intent here is to collectively build a technique playbook that we can implement at the hackathon. So do try to keep your ideas to technical techniques that that people can implement today. Sacco, using mixtures of agents and prompt optimizers. Very creative. A part of me is skeptical. Agents themselves, hard enough. Maybe mixing them together is even more challenging. But if you have a reliability heuristic, or you know which one will work in which context, that's great. Use a prompt optimizer. Sacco, if you want to link a prompt optimizer, that seems awesome. Anthropic has a phenomenal prompt generator. I don't know if you've ever used this sort of structured prompt generation process. But Sacco, if you have a different prompt optimizer in mind, do let us know. Use Wordware. Amazing. Yeah. So, I saw an AutoGen presentation at the Arize conference last week. And the amazing thing about AutoGen is it's an agent framework which is open source. So you can pull all of the prompts that it generates internally and then use those prompts in a sequence and optimize them for reliability. And so I think there's a clear path from open source browser agents to functional specific browser chains that execute on important browser tasks. Very cool. So I'll send this out over the over the event so that people can continue to add to it. But I intend to publish something akin to, the hacker's guide to creating high quality agents. So do please contribute, and yeah, actually, if you leave your info, I'll make sure to give it proper attribution. To finish things off, though, I do have some, I guess, disappointments, lessons, etc. So plugins was this terrible failure. Plugins could have been a library, which was the most valuable software library in history, which allowed you to take arbitrary real-world actions from Python code, because all of these companies published backends that you could interact with. So you could have a Python library that lets you order something on Kayak, or that lets you interact with Wolfram Alpha. This didn't happen, and if someone made it, that would be truly phenomenal. Code Interpreter, Julius, and Anthropic, super successful, because they went for basically super limited agents that are in the loop of their environment. So in general, I think that's an incredible heuristic. In my mind, the future of agents, and if you guys can train it today, that'd be fantastic, are things like Orca Math, which put math generation in the loop of a model being trained. And so it's a research direction that I think is really phenomenal. And we've seen crazy results, 2xing on important benchmarks. So if you can train a model today, that would be amazing, or even set up training. And generally speaking, there's an intent to have an agency paradigm shift that hasn't quite happened yet, but is on the way. So if you haven't read React, it's a great intro to planning and acting. Tool use in part has fallen by the wayside as a concept, but is certainly still incredibly important and relevant. Self-correction and automated evaluation and self-awareness is phenomenal and still, in my mind, under-theorized and underdone. Obviously, Code Interpreter is very much about code-based self-correction, but how do you do that in other domains? It's a big question. In general, I think chaining is totally underrated. So optimize every single prompt in a chain that is reliable, and you can accomplish incredible prompt to product style generations. So thank you for your attention, for your technical contributions, and good luck with your creative hackathon ideas.
All right, we have a new category prize. It's 10 friend devices. So we're going to hear from Nick from Friend.
All right. Does it work? Not yet. It will. All right. Hi, everyone. I know you're all tired. Give me 4 minutes of your best attention, and I promise you will not regret. So what is Friend and what is based hardware? We are only 4 months old. We already have 6K stars on GitHub. We have 3K developers in Discord, and we did a successful Kickstarter where we sold thousands of these devices that I'm currently wearing on myself. And today we'll have 100 of these devices to give to each one of you so that you can all integrate with your AI agents. Now, yeah, we also were featured in Forbes, blah, 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 but it's not interesting. So what does the device do? You put it on your neck, you go to an event like this, it will transcribe all conversations, give you summaries, proactive feedback, and advice. It's fully open source, fully hardware, firmware, software. It's fully private as well. All data is stored locally on your phone, and it will work 1 week on a single charge. So only charge it once a week and you're good. The structure and how does it work? There is a hardware that I'm wearing myself. It integrates with my mobile app. And there is a huge plugin marketplace for our developers who build different plugins, agents, and all stuff like that. There is a lot of them, by the way, but my favorite one is, I will show it to you later, actually. Actually, I will show it right now. Let's see a quick demo. 1 sec. All right. Cool. Yeah, so first functionality is a lot of speakers were chatting right now, and it created for me summaries for every presentation that was just done by other speakers, like Wordware, AgentOps, MultiOn, Anon integration, and like, Jeremy also just said something, so I have a detailed summary of everything. I also have like customized plugins here, so I can enable plugin like Paul Graham, for example, and give me feedback, personalized advice because I'm a startup founder, or even Elon Musk, or a conversation summary, and so on and so forth. Now, what's the most important thing is you are the first probably 100 or 200 people who see this integration that we only released yesterday. And how does it work?
we added developer mode with webhooks, so you can pretty much connect the app to any other app, any agent in the world. And here I will show you a quick demo of how I connected it to a news checker app, news checker agent. So whenever I'm saying something, whenever I talk to people, if there, let's say, was something mentioned, it goes automatically and finds me relevant news. So as you can see here, people were talking for the past 1 or 2 hours, and for every interesting topic, it finds me automatically some news-related stuff. For example, someone's mentioned self-driving cars. It will mention me about self-driving cars in California. What else? Someone mentioned about AI bots, and it gave me like some news about like Florida AI bots, which went crazy as always. And it runs on the server, and the app connects to the app, to the agent itself. All right, let me get back here. What else do we have? Yeah. So today we'll give you 100 of these devices. Where you can find me somewhere there, I don't know. Just find this hoodie. You will never make a mistake. And for the prizes, we'll have five necklaces for the top 1 person or a team, plus 300 Div Garg credits, plus 300 OpenAI. For top 2, 200, 203 necklaces, and top 3, 100, 101 necklace. Basically, here you are. And yeah, take a picture of this QR, even if you don't plan to get the device, still take a picture, because you will not get the device without this. There we have 5 very important links for you. Number 1, how to get the device. Number 2, like how to build a plugin. Number 3, Discord link, everything you pretty much need. Super detailed. Hope you will like it. Thank you, everyone. I did it even faster than 5 minutes. So thank you all so much.
All right, next up is John from Arize. Give it up for John.
I'll be the last one. Hey, everybody. I think we are right towards the end, so we might be the final boss before we unleash everybody. Awesome. Great to see everybody. We're really excited to be here. Really excited to see what everyone builds over the next 36 hours, call it. Really excited to see what kind of comes through there. Okay, we're up. Awesome. So I am John. I'm a developer advocate here from Arize. For anyone who doesn't know Arize, we're one of the biggest observability, tracing, evaluation, and experimentation platforms for LLMs and traditional ML. Specifically, we're talking today about our Phoenix product, which is our open source side. So Phoenix, if anyone hasn't used it, lets you trace, evaluate, experiment with different platforms and different pipelines that you're using for LLM apps. And I'm going to show you, keep this really specific and useful for today. I think over the weekend, we kind of imagined some people might get into tracing, might do a little bit of experimentation and evaluation, but I'm going to show you how you can use Phoenix to easily add in tracing and kind of understand what's going on under the hood of your apps. So Phoenix is open source. There's a bunch of different ways that you can use it and can deploy it. You can do your own containerized version of it. You can run it in a notebook. But probably the easiest way to do it is to use our hosted solution here, which we've built in partnership with LlamaIndex. We're calling this Llama Trace. And so if I jump in to sign in, I can add in my account. And this will spin up an online hosted instance of Phoenix that I can use and then send traces to. We're fully compatible with OpenTelemetry. We use that as kind of the baseline. So if you track any kind of OpenTelemetry traces inside of your app, you can send those through into Phoenix. I've got a bunch of data in here because I've already used this instance, but I'll show you what this looks like in our agent here. So I've got a really basic agent that we're using here that's just going to pull in some documents from archive and let you ask questions on those. We're using our connection here to tie this together to Phoenix. So if we want to send traces from this particular agent into a Phoenix instance, all we have to do is add a few lines of code here to add in an API key. And then what we've done is we've built out these instrumenters that automatically work with a lot of popular frameworks like LlamaIndex, like LangChain, work directly with OpenAI or Mistral APIs as well too. And so you're able to just do with one line of code, start instrumenting your different agents. And so if I want to go through, I can run a command here. You'll see this is going to go through, and then it will populate into our Phoenix dashboard. And of course, live demos always take a little longer than you want. And so what this will look like in our platform here is if you go in, we can see we'll start to pull together traces from that individual call that gets made. So as you have these complicated agents that are making multiple calls to different tools, LLMs, different steps, you can kind of zoom through here in this generally easy to use, lightweight way to see what all of these look like as you go through different steps. You can see the inputs, outputs from your different models as tool calls are generated, as different agents are tied together. And so you can see all those pieces within here. That's the tracing side of Phoenix. There's a bunch of experimentation and other features that you can use as well. We don't know that everyone will get to the experimentation evaluation stages of the weekend, so this is kind of where we're focusing our prize pool, which I'll talk about a little bit towards the end. But just to show you really quickly, some of the other kind of pieces that we have within the platform that you can use if you want to. We've recently added some features around data sets and experimentation that we think are really cool. So, of course, the live demo gods are going to give me some. Of course, that's going to happen. Let's do this really quick. We had so many live demos where nothing went wrong. There had to be one where something went wrong. Let's see if this is going to pop up. All right. We'll have to save our experimentation demo for another time here. I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. But really quickly to talk about some of the prize pool that we have for the weekend. We are sponsoring a prize with Phoenix where whoever is able to use this kind of tracing tool to find some sort of investigation or bug or issue within their platform, show it to us. And then we are giving away a Rabbit R1. We're giving away a Theragun as well. So as you get knots from sitting in a place coding all weekend and you need to work through those, we've got a nice Theragun that you can win from our prize pool as well. And our whole team's going to be here for the weekend. So if you run into any issues tracing, experimenting, investigating through your agents as you're building them, come talk to us. And one other thing that we're offering for the weekend while we're here is this hosted Phoenix option that we have, the online way that you can access our tool. We're giving away 100,000 traces per month that can be used if you just come over and talk to us. We're uncapping that. Other people are charging about $600 per month for that. So we're giving that away to everybody here. So just come talk to us over at the booth here at some point, and we can hook you guys up with that. And I know I'm getting flagged down over here. So I'm going to call it there. Good to meet everybody. Have a great weekend.
All right, last presentation. So we have a special presentation for you. We are going to do a beta preview of the MultiOn agent builder with Elon and Pranav. So the last 5 minutes of your time, please give it up.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Pranav, and this is Elon. We do research at MultiOn. And so, yeah, one thing that we have been working on a lot the last, I guess, few months is on making sure that agents are reliable and consistent. Right now, thank you. So right now we know that LLMs are super good at, constructing creative solutions and suggesting super cool ideas, but they're not always good at following instructions end to end for super long tasks. And so this is an important problem, but a hard one. And so what we've been working on is this agent builder where hopefully we allow people to have a kind of natural language access to ensuring that there are consistent and reliable programs followed. So for example, yes, which one should I? Yeah. So here's a program that we were working on earlier today, where you can kind of specify to the agent the types of instructions to follow over time. So we give users access to commands like ask, do, verify, and you can kind of stitch them together as you would do with Python or another kind of basic language. And it enables the agent to follow instructions in a much more consistent way. And so this is an experimental feature that we're trying, and we would love to see what you guys do with it. Maybe Elon, we can do a quick demo.
Yeah, so we can do a quick demo. Well, we actually have a recording for sake of time. So this is the find tweet agent that we built. You just saw the program for it written in kind of a mix of programming syntax and natural language. And so it asks for the current event. We say MultiOn, of course. And then the agent, follows that program that you saw before. So first it looks for information to memorize on recent news about MultiOn. And among the things it can do, do linear tasks that involve multiple steps. It can verify the tasks as it's going. It can wait for a condition to be satisfied. And And so here we see it's kind of looking for information about MultiOn. So it kind of found an article and scrolled, and now it's going to Twitter, and then it's going to ask, once it verifies that it's at Twitter, it's going to ask for user help logging in, which is part of the program. So that's another kind of one of these primitives in this programming language of the agent builder. So this wasn't some crazy long project to build this. We really did it recently, and so we're really excited to see what can be built with this over the course of this weekend. So we can see it asks to log in, which I do for it. And yeah, so it can do multi-step, multi-flow. So each step line in the language can involve an entire task being executed. Obviously, if that task is more complicated, it's worthwhile to break it up into multiple lines, because the goal of this is to have reliable agents for a single workflow. And so here it's finding information about a current event and then drafting a tweet for it. And then it confirms with the user, is the tweet satisfactory? And once we've had a chance to review the tweet, which is MultiOn is revolutionizing AI, we can say that it is satisfactory, and the agent sees that it's satisfactory and then posts the tweet. And so, yeah, that's the kind of a single flow we've built, and we're really excited to see what you guys can do with it.
Yeah, and so yeah, I guess you can try this in the MultiOn marketplace and share the agents, and we'll see what you guys come up with.
All right, that is it. So for brunch, we have croissant. You can make your own. We have ham, cheese, and salami. And then pizza will be here around 2 p.m. Happy hacking, everyone. All right.